Hey guys, I'm going to show you how you can install vCenter Server 8 in VMware Workstation in this video. So many people use VMware Workstation to set up lab environments. Let's see how we can deploy vCenter Server 8 in VMware Workstation. VMware Workstation is a Type 2 hypervisor that runs as an application on top of your existing workstation or laptop running the Windows operating system. It uses your existing hardware to run your lab environment. Just so you know, you need to have enough CPU and memory resources with faster storage such as NVMe or SSD to run vCenter Server as a virtual machine on your computer. I'm running this lab on a PC that has an Intel Core i7 processor and 32 gig of memory. This PC also has an NVMe disk. In addition to that, deploying the vCenter Server appliance in VMware Workstation requires additional steps because you need to convert the OVA appliance to OVF and modify the OVF file to start phase 1 of installation. And phase 2 of installation of the vCenter Server is the same as the typical installation of vCenter Server that you do it on an ESXi host. So let's get started. I've already downloaded the vCenter Server ISO file, but let me show you how to download that. I'm going to navigate to the website customerconnect.vmware.com. Click Login, and it will ask you to sign in with your existing VMware account. If you don't have one, you can create a free one by clicking on Sign Up Now. I will sign in with my existing account. I will type in my password and click on Sign In. It will take me to the home page of VMware Customer Connect. So I'm going to click on All Products. I will select View Download Components right next to VMware vSphere. Here you can see different editions of vSphere such as Essentials, Essentials Plus, Standard, Enterprise, and Enterprise Plus. Under these each edition, you have VMware vCenter Server 8. And it doesn't matter which one of them you select to download the ISO file. So I'm going to click on Go to Downloads, which is right next to vCenter Server 8 under Essentials. Now it says that my account is not entitled to download the ISO file of vCenter Server 8, but I can download a trial version of vCenter Server 8, and I can run this version for a period of 60 days. So I'm going to click on Download Trial. And it says that I've not registered for this product. So I'm going to click on Register. Now it will ask for my personal information, which I've already filled in. So I'm going to agree to the license terms and I'll type the CAPTCHA code and click on Start Free Trial. Now I'm going to scroll down a little and expand Download VMware vCenter Server. Expand it again. And you see an option to download the ISO file. And now you see a button to manually download the ISO file. So I'm going to click on it. And now it will prompt you to save the file. But in my case, I've already downloaded the file. So I'll skip that. Let me go ahead and mount this file by double clicking on it. I will click Open. Now what I'm going to do is I will copy the entire content into a folder on my C drive. Click Copy, go into the C drive, create a new folder. I will call this as VCSA, press Enter, right click on this and click Paste. Okay, in here, navigate into the folder called VCSA. Here you can see the folder OVF tool, open it, open Win32. So we have a tool called ovftool.exe and I'm going to convert an OVA file which is in the folder VCSA. So I'm going to convert this OVA file into OVF file. All right, I will open up command prompt as an admin. I will navigate into the folder VCSA, cd VCSA, press enter and go into VCSA folder, which is inside of the VCSA folder on my C drive, and then OVF tool and Win32 folder. I'm going to type ovftool.exe, C drive, VCSA again, and I'll specify the OVA file of vCenter Server appliance. which is my source file, and I'm going to create a OVF file in the same folder. So I'm going to type C drive VCSA again, VMware vCenter server with the same file name .ovf. Press enter. Now it will write the OVF package in the same folder as the OVA file. Okay, it is done. I will go back to the folder and now it shows the OVF package along with the VMDK files, JSON files, RPM files, and it also created a .mf extension, which is the manifest file. I don't need that, so I'm going to delete it. Next, I'm going to edit the .ovf file by opening it in Notepad. I will click Edit and click on Find. I'm going to search for guestinfo.cis.upgrade.import.directory. Alright, scroll down a little and you can see it is set to false. So I'm going to change it to true. Okay, so I'm going to click File, save this and close it. Okay, that's all we need to do. The next step is to import this OVF file as a VM in VMware Workstation. Okay, I will open up VMware Workstation, click on File and click on Open. I will navigate to the location where I have stored my .ovf file, C drive VCSA again, and I will select the OVF file and click on Open. It will prompt you to accept the end user license agreement. I will check I accept the terms of the license agreement and click Next. I will specify a name for the virtual machine. I will call it as VCSA01. I will keep the default location, but if you would like to specify a different path, then you can click on Browse. So I'm going to click Next. In the deployment options, you have different deployment sizes for the VM, such as tiny, small, medium, large, and extra large, with storage options such as default. Of course, it does not say default here, large storage and extra large storage. I will keep the tiny vCenter server selected with the default storage. I'll click Next. In the properties section, you need to fill out the configuration details. So in the networking configuration tab, you need to specify either IPv4 or IPv6 for host network IP address family. So I'm going to type IPv4. Next, you need to select either static or DHCP for host network mode. So I'm going to type static. Specify the IP address for the vCenter server. I will specify 192.168.10.6. Specify the prefix for host network prefix. I will specify /24. Next, specify the IP address of the gateway for host network default gateway. I will specify 192.168.10.254. Next, specify the IP address of DNS servers for host network DNS servers. So I will specify 192.168.10.1. Specify the domain name for host network identity. So I will specify the fully qualified domain name for my vCenter server, which is being deployed, and that is vcsa01.tastybiryani.local. By the way, I've already created a DNS entry for my vCenter server. It is very important that you need to create the DNS entries before you deploy the vCenter server appliance. Alright, next I will click on SSO configuration tab. Type the SSO administrator password for administrator@vsphere.local and confirm it again. Next, under system configuration, type the root password for vCenter server appliance and specify it again. You can skip the upgrade configuration and you can keep the default selection in miscellaneous. And in the networking properties tab, you need to specify the domain name as well as the domain search path, which in my case is tastybiryani.local. So I'm going to specify that for domain search path as well. Now click on Import to import the OVF template of vCenter server appliance. It will take some time to complete. And it will boot into the vCenter server appliance. It will take a few minutes to complete the boot, so I'm going to speed it up. And now it's on the console screen, which displays the web address for the VMware admin interface. Also, after completing phase 1 of the vCenter server appliance deployment in VMware Workstation, you may need to check which network the appliance VM is connected to, because in phase 1, it does not prompt you to select an appropriate network. In my case, if I go into the settings of the VM, you can see it is connected to the bridge network, which is wrong in my lab environment. I would like to connect this to VMnet 1, and that's where my other VMs are connected to. So I'll change this from bridge to custom, and I'll select VMnet 1 and click on OK. Next, we will configure the appliance using the VMware admin interface. So I'm back on my browser, and I'm going to type the IP address of the vCenter server, which is 192.168.10.6:5480, which is the port number for the VMware interface. Press enter. Now I'm going to click advanced and click on proceed to 192.168.10.6. Now I'm going to enter the password for the root account that we set up during the deployment of the appliance and click on login. Now you're in the phase 2 of the deployment, so I'm going to click on setup. Click next on the introduction screen. In the vCenter server configuration screen, you need to specify the additional configuration for your appliance. For some of these configurations, it has already picked up what we selected during phase 1 of the deployment. So it knows that we selected a static IP address and the IP version, which is IPv4, the system name vcsa01.tastybiryani.local, the IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, and DNS servers. So they are all picked up from phase 1 of the deployment. The only two things which I need to specify here is time synchronization mode and SSH access. So I will select synchronize time with NTP servers, and I will specify my domain controller that acts as my time server in the domain, which is 192.168.10.1. I will also activate SSH access and click next. In the SSO configuration screen, I will keep the default selection, which is create a new SSO domain. And I'm going to specify the SSO domain. So I will specify the default SSO domain, which is vsphere.local. I will specify the password for SSO admin and confirm it again. Now I'm going to click next. In the configure CEIP screen, I will keep the checkbox selected to join the VMware's customer experience improvement program, and I'm going to click on next. In the ready to complete screen, you can review your selection and click on finish. Click OK on the message that says to continue with the installation. Now the configuration of the vCenter server appliance begins, and it will take some time to complete depending on your computer speed. So I'm going to speed this up. All right, you can see stage 2 has completed, and I'm going to click on close. Now this time, instead of logging into the VMware interface, I'm just going to log into vSphere client. So I will remove :5480, and I'll just keep the IP address of the vCenter server and press enter. Okay, click on launch vSphere client, click on advanced, click proceed to vcsa01.tastybiryani.local. I will type in my SSO admin credentials and click login. There you go, it has successfully logged in. And this is how you install vCenter Server 8 in VMware Workstation. I hope you like this video. For more videos like these, please subscribe to my channel.